Okay, in this tutorial I'm going to go over After Effects and specifically how to save projects in After Effects. So anyone who's worked in Microsoft Word or Photoshop or most other programs, when you've done your work and you're ready to save, you just go up to File, go to Save As, Save, and name your project, and you're good to go. After Effects is a little different because After Effects sources files as you're using them here, and so it requires a different process here. So I'm just going to demonstrate kind of the wrong way to do it, just to kind of demonstrate why we're kind of going through this process, and then I'm going to show how to do it correctly after that. So I have my After Effects project open here, and in the next tutorial, I'm going to begin to dive into how to actually navigate this interface. So if this seems confusing, don't worry at all. We're just concentrate on what I'm doing on saving the project here. So I have this. And I'm going to import this little drawing I have of a robot here. That's a JPEG file. So a typical image file, right? Put it into my timeline. Okay, so let's just say I have a project here. And again, all this interface stuff I'm going to go over in the next tutorial, so don't worry about that if that seems confusing at all. So if I were to take this project, let's just say I'm done, and I go to File, Save As, Save, and I'm just going to save this onto my desktop as Robot 1, and an After Effects file is an AEP right there. So I'll press Save, and I'll close this down. So I'm just going to go to File, New Project, close it out. So what I have there is I have the drawing that I was using, and then I have my After Effects file right there. Let's say for a second that you're working on your computer and this file right here, the drawing, gets moved for whatever reason. Let's say that I make a new folder somewhere and it gets moved into that. Or let's just say you're moving from one computer to the next. There's 1,000 reasons that a file might move from one place to another here, right? So I moved the robot drawing. And so now I'm going to reopen this project that I just saved, Robot 1, right? So I'm going to open After Effects, and you can see immediately I get an error message saying that the file is missing. I'll press OK, and you can see here that that robot drawing is, you get this instead of the drawing itself, and that's After Effects indicator that the file is missing. So there's things we can do to relocate this file, but it can just turn into a real mess real quick if you're saving your files this way. Okay, so let me show you the correct way to do this. So I'm just going to make a new project, and I'm going to minimize After Effects. And I'm going to do this all before, let me just kind of get things reset here. I'm just going to even delete that project. And so before I even start on After Effects, it's important to do this. And I'm just going to do this all on the, if you're on a Mac, just in the, in the Finder window here. So you can either right click or go up here to File, New Folder right there. And I'm going to make a directory folder for my project. So I'm going to call this, I'll just click on it here. See if it'll, there we go. And I'll name this Robot Project. So this is my directory folder right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click this, and I'm going to make a few subfolders in here. And I'd like you all to kind of stay with this organizational system that I'm doing here, because I've done this for almost 20 years and it works, right? It's so I have my base directory right there, and I'm going to right click and make a new folder, and I'm going to make, I believe this is going to be 5 folders here, and I'm going to name them as such here. So I have a new folder that I called Audio. I have one that I call AEP, which is After Effects Projects. Okay, so I just right-clicked and named and created 5 new folders here. And so starting from the top, going to the bottom, I have the After Effects project. So when I save After Effects projects, I'll put them into this folder. I have audio. So if I have any music or voiceover or any kind of audio files that I want to use in my project, I'll drag those files into this folder right here. I have images. So any kind of JPEG, PSD, Illustrator file, any kind of image that I'm going to use. So for instance, like this robot right here. I'll just put that in there. And next up I have renders. And so renders is when I'm kicking out like my final video file from After Effects, I'll put them into this renders folder right here. And then this is different, is video assets. So any videos that I plan on using in After Effects, let's just say I have a screen tutorial here, or a screen capture video of a tutorial I was doing a minute ago. And let's just say hypothetically I want to use that in my After Effects project. I'll just put that in video assets. So any videos that I plan on using right there, right? So 5 folders right here within the main directory folder right there. And this is going to work a lot better here. So now I'm going to do a new After Effects project, and I'm going to kind of race through those steps. And again, don't worry if this is hard to follow right here, because I haven't shown these techniques yet of creating compositions and all that. But you can see here, let's just say I want to import my robot drawing into my project. I will import that file. You can see here I have my directory project right there. That's on my desktop. I have images, and then I have the drawing right there, imported into the project. And so now when I'm ready to, let's just say that this is a project that I'm happy with and I want to save it, is in After Effects, I'll go to File, Save As, and then again on the desktop robot project, I'll look for AEP for After Effects projects, and I'll call this Robot Project V1. And what's great about this now is that as long as I keep this folder intact, meaning I don't go in and like start deleting images or deleting videos or, you know, moving them around out of this folder, I can take this folder right here and I can move it onto another computer. I can move it onto like your external, you know, if you have an external hard drive, you can move it into there, for instance. You can kind of just move this whole folder around as one chunk. And you might need to relocate files at some point. You know, that might come up at some point down the road. But as long as you keep this folder structure right here, it's going to relocate the files all in literally 2 seconds once you kind of go through a step. Whereas if you just have an After Effects project that's just kind of out there on its own and you're kind of bringing in files from all over your computer without putting them into a base directory like this, it's going to cause a ton of headaches for you. So this is a super, super important process to kind of wrap your head around and just kind of make your habit of working while dealing with After Effects.